Right. Dr. Greg Emerson. I'm here with my brother from another Viking, Kevin Slattery, owner of Kev's Forge in Canberra, Australia. And we've just finished a knife making course. I should have brought the knives to show people, but I forgot them.
Yeah, we've taped them all up.
Yeah. I wanted to have a talk to Kev about some changes he's made in his life, because when you and I met a few years ago, you were just starting to teach knife making, and now you've got your own business, and you were probably a lot more stressed out back then, and
yes,
even a little bit heavier than you are back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, just having left an very stressful IT job to kind of throw your hand out and running your own business. Tell me a couple of reasons that you've decided to kind of take that big step and take that risk.
Well, my biggest reason was for health matters. I actually was sick continuously for a reasonable amount of time while I was in that IT role, and just was, I guess, in a bit of denial that it may have been stress related. And then when that diagnosis was given and I actually accepted it, I thought it was time to make a change. So I took some time off of that job. I kind of had all intentions of going back to it, but I took a period of time off, and when I sort of de-stressed and started to enjoy things again a lot more away from that role, I just made that decision, and had the hard chat with my wife about, can we make it if I leave? I can make it okay financially, etc. And yeah, we decided that I'd make a go of it, and the business model wasn't really set. It was just have a go, let it grow organically if I could, and not let myself get stressed by it, and take that passion of what I was doing in the knife making and see if I can push that out to other people. And
I suppose you and I were just talking before about how, a lot of the Blue Zones research has shown that the people who live the longest and the happiest are people who never retire, who keep doing their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you've got a job that you can, your job is also your passion, which is a huge secret in life, and you can do it to 100 if you like. I'm going to keep working till I'm 100. I'm not going to be doing 5 12-hour days, but I'm certainly going to be doing some time. And when you and I first met, you helped me make 3 knives that I was very passionate about, which were made out of Damascus steel, which will always be connected, those knives. And I'm very grateful for some of the passion that you instilled in me in knife making. So it's really good to see that you've taken on some of the keys of a long life, which is to find your passion and live your purpose. We always know from the survival literature that the people who always survive any difficult situation, the people who know what their purpose is in life. And of course, we so happen to be also sitting behind your pomegranate tree.
Oh yeah, this one, actually the first time that you came to my workshop, this was just planted.
Right.
So we're now into the 3rd season, I think it is, and getting a reasonable amount of fruit out of it.
Right.
And it was one of the articles that you pointed out, or you told me about not long after I sort of planted it, about it being like the elixir of life. So,
right. So that's again another point we wanted to make, that the movement now towards more sharing of knowledge and sharing of and bartering.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're teaching me how to make knives. I'm teaching you the benefit of growing your own pomegranate, and we're doing that with other people too. That we're swapping goods, and I'm growing my own food, and I swap my goods and service with other people doing that as well. And I see that you're starting to, grow some of your own food here as well.
Yep. So that's, like I said, just part of that is as well, like just that connection to what you grow and what you eat, and go and water the tomatoes each day. Or my wife actually looked after the tomatoes this time around, so I can't take that credit. But out there each day looking after them, and then the corny saying, but the fruits of your labour, you put that time in and you get rewarded with something that is infinite times better in taste and satisfaction than something you're going to go down to Woolworths or Coles and buy down there.
I suppose one of the other things I was just thinking about before too was that things that you and I bartered, knowledge, was that you're teaching me how to make knives and I'm teaching you how to get into freezing cold water. And last time I was here, we went down to a very cold river here and got in it, and I taught you how to do the breathing exercises and the visualization to make cold water successful, because it wasn't something that you had ever considered doing. And now I know that you've been continuing to do that practice. How have you found the cold water practice for you and making a difference in your health and life?
Oh, great. Haven't done the river side of it much. I've never been a great fan of that side of it, but I do have the cold showers. So I have the cold showers quite regularly, actually, probably close to more times than hot showers. And yeah, I just find I get out of it and I feel revitalised. It's that strange thing where you think, oh, cold shower, that's going to make me feel horrible. I'm going to catch a cold and die of pneumonia. And you actually get out of it and, you know, dry up and then walk out of there refreshed, particularly coming out of a hard day of, you know, or weekend of teaching or a hard day in the workshop. It's funny. It just brings that new sort of lease of energy into you. And
people often ask me about having one at night because they're worried it's going to interfere with their sleep. But the literature and the research definitely shows that having a cold shower at night actually helps you sleep better. And of course, sleeping at night now, with our understanding of circadian rhythms, is perhaps even more important than food and water in terms of our health. How have you found cold showers in your sleep?
Oh yeah, I sleep much better in general. Like I said, having left that stressful job, although there are certain stresses in running your own business, even if it's a small one like mine. Different type of stress that's a lot more manageable, plus the better eating and looking after myself more, and the cold shower routines. I sleep much better than I have in a lot of years, so it's good.
And even since I've known you, you've also changed your diet. How have you changed your diet, and what difference have you found that for you?
Well, I went through a process of an elimination diet to work out a few small health problems, and I found that grain-based foods appeared to be the cause of some upset stomach issues that I was having continually. So effectively now I'm more on a low-carb diet, more meat and fresh vegetables, very sort of basic paleo sort of style of things, almost going back to meat and 3-veg routine.
Right.
And intermittent fasting, so I don't generally eat breakfast. I'll have a coffee for breakfast, have lunch, and then we'll have quite a healthy dinner. Or at the moment with our lifestyle as is, we're very busy in the evening, so it's generally have a main meal for lunch and then something small, just to, keep the stomach happy, keep the mind off wanting to eat all through the night.
Which is eating like our ancestors. And you
yeah.
and I were discussing. I know I've had my ancestry tested, and I was German, Irish, and a significant amount Viking. And I know you're going to get yours tested because you're convinced that you have some Viking ancestry and German, Irish as well. So
Definitely got German and Irish, and my wife bought me an ancestry kit for Christmas, and I'm yet to send that off. She might be hearing this conversation now and just saying, yes, you are going to send it off. But yeah, I'm really keen to see. I definitely know we've got the Irish and German ancestry. I want to see how much of it, and like I was saying to you, if I've got 1% Viking, I'll be a happy man.
But you also said to me something really interesting about the Viking Spirit. And
yes.
Who cares if it's only 1%? And what was that you said to me?
Oh, I heard a guy, I can't remember where it was, but I heard a guy with an interview, and he was talking about the Viking side of things, and he was saying the Viking side is not necessarily in your blood, it's about your attitude towards things. It's your sense of adventure, your willingness to stand in front of adversity, take on challenges, all that sort of stuff, and that exploration of things. And it's the Viking spirit more so than having that bloodline. And if you employ those sorts of things, then effectively you're being a Viking. And you read about what the conquests that they do and the stuff that they did, minus charging in and taking over someone's village or whatever. You look at the base sort of side of their beliefs and what they did, and you can employ that into your sort of daily routine pretty easily, actually.
Right. And there's our link to the cold exposure. That's so good for us. And of course, you've also probably channeling that into your work with veterans. And I know you started to do a lot of volunteer work with veterans and helping them with PTSD and running courses for veterans as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it's just something that, wanting to give a little bit back to the people that give a lot to the community in terms of the first responders and military. You've got to give credit to anyone that's sort of signed up to that through reasons like poor health and busted back and stuff. I could never do it. So I just wanted to try and give a little bit back to the community. And I had a couple of guys come and do my course that were PTSD sufferers, and we had a good talk about things. And it's as you're aware, it's a pretty quiet environment here. Not many interruptions in the day, only those that I choose to allow. So it's a very safe environment for people that are, you know, experiencing that sort of situation. And I had PTSD as a result of trauma when I had a back injury when I was quite young. So I had a lot of years of it not being diagnosed and sort of battling my own demons, getting through that. And when it was finally sort of, you know, I talked to a medical professional, and we happened on that part of the conversation, and he said, you know, classic signs of PTSD, and you've done really well to get through without any assistance. It was like, well, not by any means saying that I'm qualified counsellor or anything, but I'm aware of, you know, the dark places people can get, and if I can offer, you know, something in my workshop to give them a break away from what the demons that are inside, and potentially take something on that they'll come in here maybe not really aware of or confident of being able to do anything, and, you know, in 20 hours, over a couple of days, create something that they can then take away and be absolutely proud of, and realise that, you know, it's something they might be able to take on their own outside of here.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be a qualified counsellor to help somebody in need. You just have
to that's
extend some love.
That's it. You just got to have the right attitude and not turn your back on these people.
Yeah, and you know, with what we saw in New Zealand over the weekend, you know, it's time that it's time. Something's
my compressor.
It's time that, you know, we started moving from, you know, obsession with accomplishment and war and fighting and differences, and start moving together and looking more for, you know, common ground and peace
and just
and
obsession with yourself is the other thing.
Well, that's the thing too. I was going to say that one of the great things about when I said that it's very important to have purpose in your life, it's also incredibly important that purpose involves other people. It can't just be about you.
Absolutely.
And what you're doing with your purpose is using your skills and knowledge to reach out to people in need and helping them as well. And that's fantastic.
And for me it's you know, surprising and a little humbling, because I don't see what I'm doing here as anything overly special, but the impact that it has on people when they come in, especially in that confidence and uplifting side of it, is, you know, I'm quite humbled by some of the responses I receive back from students, you know, weeks or months or years after they've come here and done a course, the effect and flow on that my little piece in their life has had, and that to me is pretty cool.
Your purpose in life might be to have the best looking garden out the front of your house, so that when people walk past it, they feel much better.
Smile.
It doesn't have to be a, you know, earth-shattering one. That being said, I got a flight to get back to Brisbane. Thank you very much, brother. Thanks for a great weekend again.
Welcome. No worries. You're welcome down anytime.
Thanks for talking. I'll see you next time.
For sure.
See you, everybody.